In this video, I'm going to talk about why I purchased an Atomos Shogun 7 and why I use it with my Sony FX6. Here's the story. Initially, when I purchased the Shogun 7, I purchased it so I could do live cuts for video podcasts that I'm producing. The monitor has 4 SDI inputs, and this makes it so I can put 4 different camera feeds into the recorder at the one time and then do a live cut while I'm recording the podcast. This saves a lot of time in post, and it records each camera that's fed into the recorder, and then it has a program feed as well, which can be recorded as an actual stream as well, or it can be an XML file as well, which you open up in Final Cut Pro. I've already done a video on this subject, and you can find that on my channel if you want to find out more, but that was the original reason why I purchased the Shogun 7. Then I thought, gee, it would be really nice to be able to use this piece of equipment on more projects. So I then started using it as a director and producer monitor for some of my shoots. This was incredibly helpful to be able to show producers, directors, and talent what I was actually shooting and get them to okay what the final image would look like. Then I thought, why not just replace the 5-inch monitor that I'm using with my FX6, the Shinobi, and use the Shogun 7 instead. And now the Shogun 7 is a part of my regular setup for the Sony FX6. And I find it versatile enough to be able to use it handheld and also on a tripod. So there are some pros and cons to this setup. Let's start with the pros. The monitor is big and clear. It's a 7-inch monitor, which is a lot bigger than the 3.5-inch monitor which comes with the Sony FX6, and it just makes it a lot more easier to be able to see what your actual image looks like, and also whether your image is in focus, and also what the exposure is like. You can import custom LUTs into the monitor, and this is incredibly helpful to be able to show your talent or the producer or director what the final image is going to look like instead of showing them a washed out image like S-Log3, which is the profile that I shoot in. The monitor is also 2200 nits, which is a big improvement over the Shinobi, which is only 1000 nits. So I have no problem shooting inside or outside with this monitor. As I said before, this is a great way to be able to show your producer, director, or talent what the image is going to look like. And so far, whenever I've done this on set, I've had a lot of compliments on what the image of what I'm shooting looks like. When you're trying to show people what an image looks like on the stock Sony FX6 monitor, it's very small and it doesn't really do the image justice. But when you have a large 7-inch screen, it makes it a lot easier to be able to show what the image really looks like. Being able to show an accurate image of what you're actually capturing really does build trust with yourself and the producer, client, and talent on set, and that's incredibly important to me when I find myself on these shoots. And the Shogun 7 is not just a monitor, it's also a recorder, and this is incredibly helpful to be able to have redundancy with what I'm recording. I'll always be recording internally to cards with my FX6, but then being able to have an extra copy of what I'm recording going to the SSD in the Shogun 7 is incredibly helpful, and it also gives me peace of mind that if one of the cards in my FX6 gets corrupted, I've still got that backup on the SSD from the Shogun 7. I'm also not a really big fan of the playback options on the FX6. I find it kind of clunky and a bit hard to navigate. But because I'm recording to the Shogun 7, I can then just play back whatever it is that I've just shot and be able to show people on set or review it myself to see if I really did get the shot. The Shogun 7 also has all the features that you would expect from an external monitor. So things that will help you with your exposure, such as waveform, false color, and zebras, and then also other features that will help you with your focus like peaking and magnification. And there are plenty of other features in the monitor that I won't go into too much. There are frame guides and then also different squeeze options if you like to shoot anamorphic and want to be able to de-squeeze your image that way. But there are some cons to this monitor, and the first one is the fan noise. With the Shinobi, there is no fan, so I don't have to worry about the fan noise when I'm using the Shinobi with my FX6. But with the Shogun 7, there is a fan and it can be a little bit loud in some circumstances. I do know that if for some reason the microphones do pick up the fan noise, I will be able to get rid of it with some noise reduction in post, but that is just something to be aware of. It also eats batteries. It goes through batteries really quickly compared to the Shinobi, and that's just another thing that I needed to factor in. I have recently swapped over from using the Core SWX 98 watt-hour batteries to using a V-mount solution, which allows me to use 150 watt-hour batteries as well, which from my testing has allowed me to record about 2 hours and 50 minutes, so nearly 3 hours of 4K, 25p and 50p video continuously. This powers the Shogun 7 and also the FX6 at the same time. If I was doing studio work though, I would just plug the monitor straight into mains power, just so I don't have to worry about batteries. And the monitor is fairly heavy as well and does add to the rig's weight. Overall, my current rig is 4.68 kilos, which for me isn't that bad, but it is just something to be aware of. The weight includes the FX6, the monitor, the batteries, and my lens, which is the Sony 24-105 f4 lens. But overall, I'm really happy with this rig and how I'm able to use this on my regular client work. Typically, I use a cine saddle when I'm going handheld, so I don't have to worry too much about the camera rig making my arms really tired. I find that using the cine saddle really does help with being able to get steady shots and then take that weight off your arms and make it a lot more easier to be able to get those handheld shots. But let me know what you think. Do you use an external monitor and recorder? And if so, let me know which one and why do you use it? Do you prefer a 5-inch screen or a 7-inch screen or even a bigger screen? Let me know in the comments below. And that's the video. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel for more videos on video creation in the future.